Hi, I'm back again with another track guide for TMT Round 1. This time the track guide will be of TmT-Stupid Banana by RTA Wally. The world record here is 36.25 by Pity, and my personal best is 36.28, so I'm 300s behind. I will first go through the track in slow motion for each corner, and try to give some tips and tricks on how to drive fast and also consistent, and then after that I will play the replay in normal speed as well. Alright, so let's begin going through the replays then. Here's my replay. Okay, so the first couple of turns are nothing special, so let's just go through them quickly. The next turn, however, it's really important to start this turn pretty early so that you take a short line. Go as close to the wall as possible here, but don't make sure that you don't go too close. Take too close of a line because then you will crash into the pole, which is coming up here. So try to go around it as close as possible to it, though. If done well here, you can save a couple of hundreds. Alright, so then for the next turn, we have an uphill followed by a drift to the right and then a long stretch. This turn is probably the hardest turn on the map since because it's an uphill before the turn, it's pretty hard to time it right. So make just a short drift here so that you keep your speed. Then try to time it so that in the next corner you go very close to the wall and over the border as well. So try to time it here, try to go as close to the wall, and then for the next turn here, drive over the border as well. And keep your speed because we have a long stretch afterwards. So this can save a lot of time if done right. Alright, so the next turn, following that, we have a transition into a drift to the left. So here you want to make sure to align yourself so that you land into a drift after the transition to the blue floor. So here's the blue floor, and then align yourself to the left a bit so that you land into a drift, and then brake here so that you extend your drift to the upcoming turn, which is another transition back to road again. So just hold your brake here until you go over the transition, and then wait a small moment, and here you release the brake, and then you try to time it right so that you get a lot of speed out of this turn here. If done right, you can. If not done right immediately, you can also adjust your precision by braking a bit more. So if you do this correctly, you will go pretty close to the wall here, so that you have a lot of speed for the long stretch ahead. Well, this will also save quite a lot of time. Alright, so let's skip to the next turn now. For the next turn, we have a small uphill followed by a downhill drift to the right. This one, you're also a bit blind when taking it, so the timing is harder to do. After this turn, we have a long stretch, so yet again, it's important to minimize the drifting and go for as much speed as possible, as seen here. And I actually tap the brake once more here to adjust my line a bit, as I didn't enter it perfectly. And then after this, we have a uphill turn with a pole in the middle. So obviously avoid the pole, but try to steer to the right as soon as you pass the pole, and then drive diagonally over the hill here, so that you keep your grip on the road and thus your speed as well. So here you go to the right so that you keep your grip. As you can see, I didn't do it perfectly. I could have turned a bit sooner after the pole, but it was still enough to keep my grip and my speed, so I didn't lose too much on it. Also, another reason you want to go to the right is because the next turn is to the left, so you want to have that position entering the turn. So make a small turn drift here, and then you don't have to drive over the border here, since you actually want to take a bit of a wider line. As you can see, we have a uphill turn here coming up, so for best results you want to avoid that one and instead drive close to the right wall. By doing this, you will keep your grip again and get a lot of speed out of the turn, which will save you some time. I think I did this turn pretty good and actually saved some time here on the world record. Alright, so the next turn we have a downhill turn to the right. Start your drift pretty early and adjust if needed by braking a bit more. Then you want to try to hit this border here If you hit it perfectly, it will give you a shorter line, which will save a lot of time, as you want to go as much to the right as possible in this turn. Sadly, I did not do this very good at all, as you can see, and I went too much to the left. This affected me a lot for the next turn, um, which is the last one of the map. The reason why you want to go a lot to the right is because of this turn. So the more to the right you are, the shorter line you can take for the last turn, um, which is a long left turn to the left. I was actually ahead of the world record here, but because I went too much to the left, it made me lose a couple of hundreds because I had to take a very long line here instead of a shorter. So the world record came more from the right here and took a much shorter line for this long left turn here. So that made me lose quite a lot of time, and into the finish here I was 300s behind the world record instead of being ahead of it. But still pretty decent time, I think. Alright, so that concludes my track guide for TmT-Stupid Banana made by RTA Wally. I will now play the replay in normal speed as well, so thanks for watching.